Hey, so now you've done this thing where I asked you to go out there and install Ubuntu 20 on VirtualBox. So now what are we going to do with it in this class? We're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you that right now. Once it's installed, once everything's up and running, the very first screen that you should get after you waited a couple minutes is something very similar to this. Now, most of y'all can go ahead and hit install now, and you will be fine, and you'll update it. But I'm going to show you how to manually update it because that is part of this class that I have to cover. So I want you to cross out of that. And then what I want you to do is come down here in the lower left-hand corner. It's going to show us our applications. We need to bring up what's called a terminal in Ubuntu. So we're going to click right here on terminal. And this is just basically the same thing as you would have in a command prompt. But the problem, a command prompt in Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows whatever you use in XP. But we have to change something. So most Linux distributions by default, when they install, you create a user, and when you see this $sign right here, that means we're in the normal user mode. We have to become an admin, a super god, shall we say, or in the case of Linux, you have to become the super user. So I want you to type in sudo space su, all right, and then hit enter. It's going to come up, it's going to ask you for your top secret password, which in my classes is always password. And I have students that will go ahead and they'll select their own password, and this is where it gets really embarrassing because then I can't help them because I didn't remember their password because they didn't use password. So use password. And then we're going to get a thing like this. Now, you know your God, the super user, when you see this pound sign right here, that's an indication you're now a super user. The problem with that, and what you have to pay attention to, is this is where you can really change a lot of stuff. You're the man or the woman on your system. So what we're going to do is we're going to create, we're going to go out, we're going to update, we're going to do what's called a manual update. So now what I want you to do is I want you to go apt get update. And what's going to happen in the background is our system's going to go out and it's going to go to the Ubuntu archives and it's going to check what's available in the Ubuntu archives, what's been updated. Since this is open source, meaning people modify it in time, those archives change all the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out there and we're going to look and see what's available. We're going to compare it to what's on our system. We're going to create a database locally. All right. And then with this, we can upgrade or update our current all of our current code that's on our system. So now let's go apt get upgrade. All right, and it's going to come back and it's going to say we got 327 megs of archives that can be updated. So we're just going to hit yes. We're not going to worry too much about it. And away we go. Now what you're doing is you are updating your system to the most current version of Ubuntu 20 that's out there. And depending on how long it was since your original image was created, this could take anywhere from 2, 3, 4 minutes to possibly 20 minutes. And then of course the speed at which your internet service provider provides you data, that comes into play too. So in my case, it normally takes about 5 minutes. I'm going to pause from there and then we'll be back when this is over. All right, so when it gets done updating, you should get this, and everything should be updated. Let's check it and see. Let's do an apt get update. Hopefully our database is in sync now, and going out there, fetching the latest things on the update, the latest archives on the internet, and we're going to go apt get upgrade. Whoops. Apt get upgrade. And basically it says that everything is updated. Now if you get this right here, what you can do is just go ahead and run that. We're going to sudo apt auto remove. And we don't need that file anymore, so we're going to take it off of there. It's going to remove anything that's not needed. Normally it frees up quite a bit of disk space for us. So now our system's current. That's all you got to do. Or you can go back and you can do the updates like we had at the beginning of the video. Just click on the link. But it is important you understand how to manually do it, so that's why I wanted to run through this, and that's just something that we have to cover in the class. Keep in mind that this class is set up for people that have never, ever used Linux before, so I know some of you all are like, wow, this is really a basic video. I got a couple ringers in this class. A ringer in a fight is it's a fighting term. The term ringer, that means it's somebody that's guaranteed to win the fight. It's from back in the Depression era when they'd throw somebody in that was guaranteed to win a fight. Everybody'd bet on them, and then all the sucker bettors wouldn't know who to bet for. So I know I got some ringers. By ringer I mean that there are people that know Linux. Maybe you know some different versions. And don't send me an email. Can you use a different version? Please do what I ask you to do. It's part of the course. Use Ubuntu. If you use CentOS or if you use a Fedora or something, great, more power to you, but you don't need to show off, you don't need to brag to me. Please use Ubuntu for this class. Keep everybody on the same sheet of music, and it gives you a little bit more exposure to Ubuntu. So anyways, have a great weekend, folks, and hopefully you enjoyed the video.